keeping a relationship healthy. The first thing you need to do to keep a relationship healthy is not to tell a story, or don't do a storytelling. Storytelling is when you don't verify things that you think. It's not like you have heard anybody talk about them, but it's something based on something that your partner is doing, and you don't ask why they are doing them, or you don't get information of whether what you think they are doing is exactly what they are doing or not. Now, you find yourself doing things because you think that what you are telling yourself is true. And that alone in itself, it's a bit problematic, because you do that not because you're a bad person, but you do it because you think that what you are telling yourself, the story you are telling yourself, you think is true. Number two, remember, feeling must not be your guide. Because at times you feel angry and you feel like somebody is a cause of you being angry. In this case, you feel like your partner or your spouse is the cause of you feeling angry or you feeling annoyed. Why? Because you don't suppose to make your feeling a guide. I mean, things like feeling jealous, feeling insecure, and feeling threatened. Those things, I mean, every time you make them, you can make them thinking that my partner, or thinking that your partner, he or she is up to something, they are doing something. But this is just a feeling. It can be a feeling that is based on things that, or on behavior, or on patterns that you are paying attention to. But I mean, you can't just rely on your feeling that because you feel in this particular way, therefore it is so. Let me tell you, sometimes the things you feel or the way you feel say more about yourself rather than your partner or your spouse. In other words, if you feel in a particular way, maybe that is who you are. And you need to pay attention to that. And because it's who you are, and you automatically think that your partner is like you, when in actual fact, it might be the opposite. And all of a suddenly, because you feel like your partner does not believe in you, does not love you, and all of the issues that is to do with insecurity comes into place. You feel like now you are not enough, you are not beautiful enough. And remember, it is just a feeling. Now, the danger is in that now you may want or feel like you need to control who your partner interacts with. I mean, why? Because you are telling yourself stories and you are making your feelings to be a guide. And now you want to check, who is he talking with and who is she talking with? Why? Because you feel threatened. You feel like you are not enough. You feel like maybe he wants to leave you or she wants to leave you. And you know that is just a feeling, and it's a story that you tell yourself. There are no grounds to base that, and that you do not need to do to make it a point that your relationship is healthy. At the same time, it is your duty. Make it a point that you don't allow yourselves or dwell on reasons that may make you feel like you are not enough. For example, you think, maybe I'm not beautiful enough, or maybe I'm not handsome enough, or maybe I'm not enough. And you may feel like, maybe I'm not beautiful enough, maybe I'm not awesome enough. You may feel like maybe I'm not smart, maybe I'm not the right person, maybe I'm not desirable, maybe I'm not worthwhile. It's just a feeling. You don't need to dwell on those feelings. Fight that feeling with a positive feeling. Tell yourself, I am worthy, I am beautiful, I'm awesome, I'm smart, I'm lovable. I'm lovable. I mean, feeling attacked does not necessarily mean you are attacked. Equally so, feeling threatened does not mean you are threatened. And lastly, feeling unappreciated does not mean your partner does not appreciate you. Remember, it is always easy to think that your emotions are true, to think your emotions are correct. You know, there are people that will tell you, if I feel something, there is no way that it is not true. Once I feel something, it is true. And check, if you are driven by that, very soon you will realize that people will begin to leave you, and you don't want that. You don't want to see people leaving and people moving away out of a relationship simply because you are driven by your emotions, which is wrong. It should not be. Number 3, don't stay inside your comfort zone. I know that most people will say, don't do anything that you are not comfortable with. Now, for me, this is a wonderful advice for somebody who don't want their relationship to grow. In other words, if you don't want your relationship to grow, then don't do anything that you are not comfortable with. But if you want your relationship to grow, then you need to consider certain things, or you need to consider to do certain things that will make your relationship to grow. Why? It is because change, it is accompanied by some certain discomfort. Every time you find change, there is a little bit of discomfort. And that goes also because learning a new skill in itself is discomforting, is uncomfortable. But you need to allow it for you to grow, for your relationship to grow, for a relationship to be meaningful, for a relationship to become better. In actual fact, saying that don't do anything that you don't feel comfortable with literally means don't change, don't learn, don't grow, don't do anything that will see your relationship progressing. And that is a disaster for failure. That is a disaster to kill your relationship, and you don't need that. Remember, refusing new things can make your partner to be disappointed. Every time your partner suggests something, and because it's something new, you always reject it. You may end up disappointing him or her, and you don't want that. Sometimes you need to allow new things to happen, even if you are uncomfortable with, for the sake of your relationship, for the sake of protection of your relationship, or for the sake of protecting your relationship. Because every time when you refuse a new thing, your partner wants you to do a new thing and you refuse it, you may make them feel unsafe talking to you about new things. And you don't want a situation where your partner doesn't feel safe to talk to you. You don't want that. So be accommodating to new ideas, to new suggestions, to new thoughts. Listen to your partner. At times you need to say, let me think about it. And while you are doing that, you are digesting it. Number 4, develop a clear communication line. In other words, make communication a priority to keep your relationship healthy. Communication must happen. It must be in twofold, in two ways. You talk, the other partner listen, and vice versa. Both of you must talk to each other. Remember, when you communicate, you must not lie. Tell the truth. Because lie will end up having to tell the lie all the time. Be transparent. Tell the truth as it is. Because not telling the truth may destroy your relationship, and you don't want your relationship being destroyed. So tell the truth as it is. At times it may not be easy to tell the truth, but still tell the truth. Now, I know that in reality, in most relationships, most people will say, I know that communication is important, but others will say, but it is hard. Others will say, but it is uncomfortable. Others will say, it's awkward to talk about certain things. But guess what? That is like saying, I don't communicate. And remember, once you don't communicate in any relationship, that relationship is dead. It will soon die a natural death. And you don't want that. You must know, if you don't communicate, just know, even if you are not willing to learn to communicate, just know, you are halfway to destroy your relationship. Sooner or later, your relationship will be destroyed. And you must know that you could have saved, or you can still save your relationship by developing a communication channel. Communicate with your partner. Now, this thing of communication is a bit tricky, because when you communicate, you don't need to look for the hidden message. In other words, when your partner speaks, you must learn to hear what they say and not attach meaning behind what they say, because you don't want the situation where when your partner speak, you think, no, whatever he's saying or she's saying, they are saying because of. Because remember, whatever you think they are saying because of, it may not necessarily be true. So don't do it. Don't attach hidden message. Just take what they say as it is. Now, the flip side of hidden message is speaking in riddles. To speak in riddles is to speak to your partner indirectly. Remember, every time you talk to your partner, learn to talk direct. If there is something you are not comfortable with, let it be known. Just say it. Don't go round and round and round when you want to make a point. Just be bold and be polite. Make your point in a friendly manner and let your partner know your personality. You don't have to act. You don't have to hide your personality. Just say things as they are. And remember to mean what you say.